cultural appropriation or cultural appreciation. Find out my experience and take on being a Black woman wearing a kimono in Japan. I've always thought the kimono was a beautiful garment. I have been wanting to come to Japan since the 4th grade. So now that I finally arrived here, I wanted to have an opportunity to wear a kimono, but I wanted to do it in a very respectful manner. I never wanted to be looked at as someone who's appropriating culture by just putting on something, not knowing the meaning behind it, and just taking pictures. So when I saw the opportunity to get fitted and rent a kimono while getting a walking tour and understanding the history behind a kimono, I jumped on it. I found this opportunity on Airbnb Experiences. When I originally booked it, I thought it said free walking tour, but upon re-looking at the listing, it says free sightseeing. But the description laid out all the traditions behind a kimono, and I really thought that I would be getting a walking tour and learning about the traditions of the kimono. But that did not really happen, and I will explain that towards the end of the video. I'm currently in Kyoto, Japan, which is about 2.5 hour train ride from Tokyo. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tasha, and this channel is all about providing travel inspiration and providing you with the personal finance tips you need to reach your travel goals. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bells if you want to see all things travel and how to get your money right to be able to travel the world like me. Akimi is doing the fitting, and we are actually in her home. She was very nice, and I did ask a few questions about the kimono, like the significance of it while she was doing the fitting, but I didn't ask a whole lot because I thought that we were going to be spending a couple hours together after the fitting, but I was wrong. She took a few pictures of me after doing the fitting, and she was like, okay, you're free to come back, walk around the city and come back at 9 p.m. And I was like, wait, what? I was not ready for that. I also thought that other women would be like a part of this group, but even if it wasn't another woman or a traveler, I should say, in the group, I thought I would at least be accompanied by her, the host of this experience. So I was very nervous to walk around. I was like, okay, I'm just going to walk around. I'll be back in an hour. She was like, an hour? And I'm like, yeah. And I said an hour just because I was so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my God, I already stick out being Black in Japan as it is. And I get a lot of people looking at me. No one's like disrespectful or anything like that. I never felt uncomfortable during my time here. But I'm like, nah, I'm wearing this kimono. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't want people to think I'm just like thinking this is a costume to walk around and wear. But I had to just calm myself down and get over that. Like, why am I thinking that's going to happen? The first part of my pep talk, because yes, I did have to give myself a pep talk to walk around this kimono by myself, was that I did make the attempt to like really get the meaning behind it. And I did actually have someone explain a little bit about the kimono and properly fit the kimono to me. It's not like I just went in and bought some random garment and attempted to wear this properly. So I had to woosah on that. And my intentions were to learn the history. But we all know that just because you may have intentions of something, that may not be public's perception. So I was just like, oh man, like, what am I going to do? So I just walked down the street at first just to see how I would feel. And I was like, okay, I feel fine. And Kyoto is pretty like small in a sense of not as many people as Tokyo is what I should say. It's not small. It's another major city in Japan, but it's not as many people as you would see walking around Tokyo. I also had to remind myself that I don't speak Japanese. So if someone was talking about me, chances are I wouldn't understand them because I don't speak Japanese. So what was my experience like walking around Kyoto by myself in a kimono? It was all positive. I got, some stares and smiles, and I actually got nervous because when I was walking down the street, a guy yelled something out to me in Japanese, and I was like, well, I hope it wasn't too bad. And he actually said it again in English, and he's like, you're beautiful, and I'm like, thank you. And then when I was at the park trying to set up my tripod and get all my shots in, people were coming up to help me, to make sure I got the shot the way I wanted to. You know what I mean? So if anyone was mad about me wearing a kimono or whatever, they would not be trying to help me take a picture in it. So let me break it all down here. Getting outfitted in my kimono today was quite the experience. I didn't know it would take almost 45 minutes to get everything together, pick out the bag, put my hair up in a bun, all of that. So you start off with like the underwrap, the underdressing of this. Now, because I am curvy, we had to change it out a few times. Like, it's supposed to be like one piece, I think you're underdressing, but we had to stop, put on the two piece, and try to find different stuff that fit me, because the Japanese are really small frame, especially the women. They're smaller. I felt like a giant next to her, as you can see with her fitting me. And like, just the furniture is very small, was small in her home. And like, I was sitting there, I just felt like I was about to break something. Like, I'm not a dainty woman by any means. So I did not know it would, all this went into it, but I really did appreciate it. And apparently this is really worn for like graduations and wedding ceremonies. I was asking her that, like, when do you put on this type of garment? And I wanted a little bit more information, but we used Google Translate a little bit for her to communicate with me. And I thought the experience was going to be in English. Now, again, I do not travel thinking people should speak English, but when I book tours, I try to book them in English so I can comprehend without trying to use Google Translate. And it did say English was available. Now, she did talk to me in English, but it was like, she was looking at me like, I'm not giving you like a whole lesson. We just doing the fitting and you walk around yourself to see the city in the kimono. So now that I'm out doing it, I do appreciate being fitted for this, but I had no idea all of this went into it. And you're very warm, because it's warm today and it's sunny, so I don't know how it would feel when it was cold, but it's not just this first layer you're seeing underneath as you are seeing me getting dressed. Now, it was so funny when it came to my hair, because like, she's used to like styling hair, and even with my braids, she was like, bun? I'm like, yeah. And she wanted to do something different, so she tried to do like a braid in the bun, and she was like, okay, this ain't working. So I just put it in a bun, and we just put the the floral that you see here. And it was so many what was I gonna say, a lot of options for the type of accessories you want to put in your hair. And she was like, you only gonna pick those two? I'm like, yes. So once you get the underdressing fitted and you get the kimono style on you, and then this, I forgot what she called this that quick, you go and you get your accessories, and then you're done for the most part. And then, oh no, the shoes. Now, my feet, I wear size 10 in women, and that was not that was not a thing. She was like, "Woo, we gotta put man shoes on." I said, I'm used to that. So it's customary to wear the white socks that you see with these now, because when I first saw it, I'm like, why would I wear socks with sandals? But that is customary to, when you're wearing a kimono, you have the white socks with a like special type of sandals for the kimono. And because I'm not speaking intelligently about the kimono experience, I'm going to be dropping some stuff on the screen that I'm going to be finding from the good Google. But I really did enjoy like being at home and being fitted for this, even though it was funny with trying to find the right size for me and my hair. Now, I only picked from like 3 different colors, so I think because of my size, I didn't have as many options as I would have had if I was smaller. But this worked because I was able to pick from like pink, blue, and like I think a purple color. And I love wearing pink. Let me know what you thought about my experience so far. Again, any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.